So I want to welcome everybody back to the new cycle of Parshas HaShavua. Because of Yontif, we missed Sefer Parshas Bereishis, but we'll start this year with Parshas Noach. The pasuk says, "Me'oif liminehu min abehemo limino, mikol remes v'adama liminehu, shnayim mikol yovo elecha lahachayes." There's an interesting difference between the kosher animals that were brought to the teva and the non-kosher animals. So it says over here, which means these are non-kosher, not necessarily kosher animals. These animals, the pairs of non-kosher animals, or whatever they may be, they came on their own. But when it came to the kosher animals, there the pasuk says that Noach had to go ahead and to fetch them. So the Ramban points this out. Hodia, on this pasuk of Perek Vav pasuk Chof, that Yovo Elecha, says the Ramban, Hodia ki me'atzmam Yovo lefanav shnayim, that pairs would come on their own. It wasn't necessary for Noach to go ahead and to catch them. Etc., etc. So that is when it came to the non-kosher animals, they came on their own. But in terms of the kosher animals, Noach had to go ahead and to catch them. So why is that? So Rabbi Kamenetsky in his Sefer Emes Yaakov wants to suggest that when it came to the kosher animals, which were brought for korbanos, so Noach had to do some effort, which means when it comes to doing a mitzvah, performing a mitzvah, it should not come just easily. You sit back and they come on their own. You have to go out and fetch them. Why? Because a mitzvah requires input, labor, your own, not mesiras nefesh, but certainly your effort. Something that comes, just on its own, that's not a perfect mitzvah. Matter of fact, there's a similar concept that it's an interesting phenomenon. We all know that when a person gets an aliyah, the minhag in many shuls is you make a mishaberach and you say bavur sheyitin, etc., etc. Why is that? Who came up with this idea of a mishaberach and bavur sheyitin so that he should donate X amount of money, whatever it is, to the shul, whatever it may be? Who came up with that concept? The truth of the matter is, it's based on a Zohar. The Zohar, this is a mystical concept. The Zohar says that a mitzvah that comes easily, without any effort, has klipos attached to it. Klipos literally means shells or peelings, So I don't exactly know how to define klipos. It's a Kabbalistic concept, but the point is that it's not perfect. It's like maybe not damaged, but not perfect. And therefore, because you got an aliyah, very good. You didn't do anything to get an aliyah. They called you up. And therefore, to go ahead and to make it that, no, this mitzvah came with some effort, that's why they instituted the concept of mishaberach. Be that as it may, this is what Rabbi Yankiv says, that the reason Noach had to go ahead and get the kosher animals, because since they were going to be used as korbanos, therefore Noach had to make some kind of effort, as opposed to the non-kosher animals, which weren't used, so then they could come on their own. However, the Ramban himself says a different explanation to this. And the Ramban says, Ki haboyim li'notzel ulachis lemzera boyim eileov. The non-kosher animals that came to the teva, they were coming there for their self-preservation. That this min, the species of elephant or or hippopotamuses or whatever it may be, lions. They're coming to the teva to maintain the min, the species, whether it's elephants, whether it's sharks, whether it's whatever it may be, whether it's mosquitoes. So you're doing this for your own good, for your own benefit. Therefore, you come on your own. But awal haboyim la'akiv oileis lizot ligozar shavo ma'atzman li'shachet avalocham Noach. But the kosher animals, some of which would be sacrificed, the Ribbon Shalom is not going to make an animal come instinctively for its own demise. It's not fair. It's not right. Which means you have an instinct to come to the teva. Why? To be slaughtered? To be a korban? That's not right. That's not yashar. And therefore that is why Noach had to go ahead and fetch them. They wouldn't come on their own because it would not be fair or just to them. Which leads us, Rabbi say, to another important point, which is really fundamental to Sefer Bereshis. The Nitziv, Rav Naftali Yehuda Beren, in his classic parish on Torah of Hemek Davar, in the Hakdama to Sefer Bereshis, writes something very, very important. And it's worthwhile to see that preface to Sefer Bereshis. The Nitziv points out that Sefer Bereshis is called Sefer HaYashar. As the Gemara says in Avodah Zarah, Haloi huksuva al Sefer HaYashar, uve Sefer Shmuel, vayemer lamed b'nei mikasha, hinei huksuva al Sefer HaYashar. The Torah, and specifically Parshas Bereshis, Sefer Bereshis is called Sefer HaYashar. The Nitziv goes on, why is it called Sefer HaYashar? So the Nitziv says is because Sefer Bereshis is the story of Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov and their descendants. Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, besides being tzaddikim, etc., they were yashar. They were straight, they were honest. Even the non-Jews appreciate that they were good people. They were yashar. And part of the lesson of Sefer Bereshis is to teach us what's yashar, to do what's right. Not necessarily what's advantageous, not what is good for you. What is yashar, it's the right thing to do. And therefore, the Ramban is saying this point over here. It's not right to have the animals come to be slaughtered. So what? Well, okay, who cares? Let's not go slaughtered anyway. It's not yashar. It's not right. As Yissocher Ramban, the Torah wouldn't do that because the Torah bichlal and Sefer Bereshis bifrat is all about the Avos who were, says the Nitziv, that the Goyim didn't admire Avram Yitzchak as a tzaddik, is because he put on tefillin or because he kept everything, including every kol HaTorah kula. They respected him because he was honest, he was straight. His word was his word. That's the way it was with all of the Avos. And that's what Sefer Bereshis is about. It's called the Sefer HaYashar, because it's the story of the Yisharim, Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. And the Ribbon Shalom teaches us right here in Parshas Noach, the reason the animals that were slaughtered didn't come on their own, because it's not Yashar, and it's not right. And the Ribbon doesn't do something that's not Yashar.